Hello there, all. This is K Rod here with the Cyber Sector Initiative Zone. We got another video for you guys today. I wanted to get this lab done for you guys, for those of you that are doing CompTia labs, but this is also a good experience to help you prepare for the CompTia Security Plus exam, but also to put on your portfolio. This is a very good particular lab. For what we will be working today is we are going to be working with a particular lab using social engineering. And for this lab will focus on particular functions on how Linux operates with, like the means of having, um, how should I say, particular functions of using social engineering toolkits. For this lab, we are going to use a particular environment within Linux to utilize that. And with this particular function that we're going to be using within Kali Linux, this is going to give us a lot of information, details on how to on how to familiarize with a social engineer toolkit to make our knowledge a lot stronger with it. So in this particular scenario, you are working as a security team member with a dummy company called Structurality Incorporated. You're working to improve your organization's security stance, and you're concerned about the organization's susceptibility. Oh, like I'm sorry. You're worried about your organization's susceptibility to social engineering, and you have been given the approval to evaluate personnel using social engineering simulations. So we're going to perform a simulated social engineering attack against an employee using the social engineer toolkit, with the goal of tricking the victim into running into malicious payload that will result in a reverse shell being established between the victim and the attacker system. So yeah, let's get right to it. First things first, we have to log in. Be sure to type in correctly. All lowercase, type in root. And then after that, you put in password, but you have to put that particular password that you see on the screen to your right. Um, Once you do this, you'll be logged in. You could very well do this by yourself if you have Kali Linux on your computer. You could basically emulate this in your own particular manner. But once I get this lab done, you'll understand what I'm talking like about, because Kali Linux will give you these particular resources and tools that you can take advantage of. So if you ever have like VMware software that you want to run on your computer to run Kali Linux with the most updated operating system, you could very well do that, and that will give you what you need to see. But now that we're here, let's talk. Let's click on terminal, and then once we're here, just type in set toolkit. This is going to give our uh, set this is going to give our social engineering toolkit to be configured and set up. So once we're here, this is the social engineer toolkit that we have. Once we are here, we have to press on number one and then press enter. So once we're here, uh, we have to go to this particular secondary menu that's going to give our particular options that we select here. So we have to answer like a question first before we move on with anything. And I see here that there is a question that is asking, which of the following attacks is not supported by set? And we can see right here that we have all the attacks that are shown here. We have like third-party modules, we have PowerShell attack vectors, QR code generator, um, generator attack vector, wireless attack point, yeah, wireless access point attack vector, I'm sorry, Arduino base attack vector, and then mass mailer attack, create a payload and listener, infectious media generator, and then we have website attack vectors, spear phishing attack. With this question, I'm gonna go with SQL, SQL injection. I don't see that on here. Yep, and we are correct. All right, so now that we're here, we're gonna click on the first option. So we're gonna just type in number one and just press enter. Now we are in phishing mode for the spear phishing attack. So we need to go with a particular choice to, well, I mean, we need to just look at the particular options that we see that's on this particular software. So based out of this lab, it's just giving us like a rundown of like having us look at the particular data that we want to see. And like what we're doing right now, we're just exploring. So let's just go back to where we originally was. So we just click on not well, you just input like the number 99, and then this will bring you back to where you were originally. So I put that in, and now we're back onto the main menu of many different other toolkit, social engineer toolkit attack types. So now we are going to type in number 2 to select website attack vendors. Let's see if that works. All right, we are right here. So now you see right here under your blue text, it now says that you are under web. Yeah, you are using web attack mode. This mode is giving you the structure to use different types of of attacks that involves a website like attacking. And yeah, this is pretty interesting. This is pretty cool. uh like as we're kind of like switching back and forth, like all we're basically doing, we're just kind of like looking at what type of options that we have with these menu type options. So basically what we're doing, we're just following this particular part about the lab just to go back and forth. So I'm just going to type in 99. Yeah, 99 once again, and then we're going to just like basically go back and forth with different types of attacks that we can go with. I'm going to click on 3. This obviously shows you, that, well, this gives you the option to use an effect, yeah, an infectious type of like attack that will give you the ability to run particular infectious media that will be generated, where basically the set toolkit will give you the ability for this type of like attack to create a USB, CD, or DVD, which will automatically launch a Metasploit payload. So basically, this gives you the ability to create like anonymous media where if somebody picks this up and then they put it onto their computer, or if this is like mixed with like other corrupted license software, that could very well corrupt right into the software, and then you can like hack right into the target's computer. There's more to it, but definitely, if you watch a lot of like, how should I say, like cybersecurity podcasting or any IT information security type podcasts, they'll give you a lot of data about what Metasploit is and how different types of hackers on a worldwide scale use this at a high level. I'm not fully versed on it yet, but I do understand that there's a lot more to offer when hackers go out of their way to use something like that, like a Metasploit or anything to that level where the high level coding is a lot harder to decipher, and the hackers have more to, like, basically the hackers have more control to put more coercive pressure from an offline and online presence to their targets. So it's a lot more complex that people don't really tend to see. And it's very scary. I mean, like anywhere that you are in the world, you can very well be exploited by many different angles, in the realm of any cybersecurity, um, like how should I say, like anything that you leave vulnerable around you, it will always be a potential drawback where something can always, you know, bite back at you for a particular, uh, like how should I say, for a particular consequence that could lead to many potential vulnerabilities. So it's always important to kind of put yourself in a position to know your surroundings and be extremely defensive up against certain means of what could be there, in the realm of being potentially exposed. So yeah, let's get right into it. I don't want to hold you guys up for time. So, all right, I'm gonna type in 99. We're gonna just go back and just go through all these particular options. It's telling us that we're just gonna look at like the certain modes that we see. Obviously, we're in payload mode. As you can see here, they have all different types of like attacks for using payloads. If you want to break into like certain how should I say, certain means of like coding scripts, whether you're trying to use like a lot of like coding shell scripts to break into PowerShell, or anything to deal with networking such as like HTTPS, TCP, DLL injections. This is pretty interesting. It's very interesting, and it's very powerful. All right, let me go back. So now we are going to, let's see. You will return to the set feature in the following exercise to create a payload. Initiate a listener and send a phishing message. For now, use the keystroke Control C to exit this subsection of set to return to the set main menu. Okay, so I'm going to do Control C. It's probably not going to let me do anything. Hold on. Let me try to. Hold on. I'm going to exit out and hold on. Let me pause the video and then I'll just kind of like load everything back. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, now that we're here, let's go right into the main menu of the set toolkit. So now that we're here, just click on one. This is going to get into social engineering attacks. Once we're here, you press on 5 for mass mailer attack. And then once we get right here, this is going to ask us, do you want to start send mail? We're going to type in no because we're not going to be doing that. Um, that's if it can let me. No. And then just press enter. Now that we're here, you will, yeah, it says like right here, for step number 17, you will return the set feature in the following exercise to configure email phishing attack uh, against employee of structurality.com. For use the keystroke combo to yeah. So basically, it's just telling us to use Control C to exit this, and we're just gonna go back into the main menu. Okay, so let's just go back here. We're gonna click on one. Yep. So just type that in. We're gonna just really basically for this particular part of the project, we're just gonna use like a different type of like attack based out of what the instructions is telling us. And then once we do that, we click on, well, we type in number 6. And then after that, uh, this is basically just giving us like a whole bunch of like other different like attacks that you can utilize. But I guess with the next step, it's gonna make us go back to the main menu. So we're just taking like a look at what we're having to utilize for our attack vectors. So we're going to go back. We're gonna click the yeah. We're gonna just type in 99, and then once we're back over here, we're going to type in number 7, and this will bring us to where we need to be in the wireless attack wireless access point attack vector. This is just giving us information based out of what we need to see, but we're not going to be using this for this part of the project. So we need to go back to the main menu once again. I don't understand why they always make us do this, but CompTia has some pretty interesting like tasks that they give us. But now that we're back over here, we're basically just gonna go back and forth to like look at certain things. We're going to type in number 8 just to take a look at this, but we're not really going to be using it. So this is just gonna give us information. Like you can basically play around with this to see what type of like attacks that this particular software utilizes. But just follow the instructions, and then we'll just basically just get this done. Um, yeah, so I'm just basically going back to how should I say? I'm just like scrolling through every different option that I see here for the different types of like attacks that you can use. So I'm just going to number 9, and I'm just typing in 99. So how about this? I'm going to just skip through this because I don't want to hold up any more time. But you guys basically get the picture. Well, this particular task is just telling us to go back and forth to check out the different types of like attacks that these type of set toolkit functions have, and they will give you more type of functions based out of what you can do with these type of like attacks. So uh, definitely take a look at it if you guys want to look more into it. But I just want to speed run this because I don't want to hold up any more time. But if you guys want to look into that, definitely take a look at that because these type of like attacks are very interesting, and they'll give you a lot of information based out of what you want to see. But if you want to, you could always like Google it online, and they will always give you better information based out of what you want to take a look at. All right, so let's move on to the next task. All right, so we're gonna return to the terminal here. Um, Now that we are here, okay, we just have to go back to the main menu. And now that we're here at the main menu, I'm not. Oh wait, hold on. Let me actually just go back to the main menu. Okay, I think I needed to do that. Okay, so it says return to the terminal window left from the previous exercise. You should still see the social engineering attack menu with its 10 options. Okay, so I just need to go back to where I originally was. So I just type in one again. Sorry, I got a little bit mixed up. So now that we're here, now we're actually going to do some real work here. So this is going to be like the fun part. We are now going to be creating a payload and a listener. So we just type in 4, and now once we're here, you type in 2. What we're basically doing, we're going to just go into a particular mode of selecting the Windows reverse TCP. uh, I think it's called the Meter. It's called the Meterpreter. Yeah, it's called the Meterpreter. So this is quite interesting. I did this before, but this is quite fun to do. So what we're going to be doing is that we're going to be putting in a IP address where it's most likely going to be running some sort of code uh, line function with a IP address to commit. I want to say some sort of like attack. So this is going to be setting up a listener IP address to the Kali VM. So this is going to be pretty cool. So once we put this in, we put in 10.1.16.66, press enter, and then our listening port is going to be 443. So this is going to be most likely the port to be listening for our targets that we're trying to go after. So we press on enter. So this is probably going to be our port 443 for the man, I forgot like what my ports are. I want to say that's for the internet, if I'm not to be mistaken. Port 443 and port 80 are the internet ports. I'm sorry for anybody that could be listening to think that I'm possibly wrong, but I want to say those are the ports. I could actually take a look at that right now, actually. Hold on. Port 443 and port 80. Hold on. Port 443 and port 80. Let's see if I'm right. Okay. I was a little bit wrong about that. Actually, this is for the HTTPS and HTTP. HTTPS port is for port 443, and then port 80 is for your default port for the hypertext transfer protocol to go to the internet unsecured. So 443 is for your secure internet port. Like pretty much I was close to being right, but I'm sorry. I usually think of like my port 443 and port 80 to be like internet ports, but that's basically HTTPS for the internet being secured for 443, and then port 80 is obviously the unsecured internet. But yeah, let me continue with this. We're basically almost done here. All right, so once we're here, we have like a little prompt that we have to say yes or no to start the payload and listener. So we just type in Y, and now we continue with this. What we do is that the set software is going to automatically launch the MS, yeah, the basically the Metasploit console. And what this is going to do is that it's going to create a listener, uh, like a listening session where it's going to display information about what we need to see. And as you can see right here, if you read right here where I am highlighting, it's showing that the exploit is running as a background for job 0. Exploit completed, but no session was created. And now it is starting a reverse TCP handler on 10.1.16.66 on port 443. So now that we have that, we're going to score it because We had to run it, and now we have the score. And now we have it. We have the path that is now found where the listener had detected the information, and now we have that complete. Now it's saying that we have to leave this terminal open and allow it to remain at the MS F6 prompt. So now that we are done with that, we have to open an additional terminal window by selecting the terminal emulator from Kali Linux. Okay, so let's do that. We're going to keep our other one open. Once we do this, we have to enter cd space forward slash root forward slash dot set. Yep, set. So once we have that, we are in the next stage of what we need to put in for our information. So now we put in zip space variable and then www forward slash html forward slash ACCTUPD dot zip. Yep, dot zip payload. Payload dot exe. Let's see how that works. Okay, so it's saying zip error. Let's see. I'm not too sure how that actually didn't work for me. Oh, okay. I have to put it in like. Oh, okay. LSA root set. Oh, okay, got it. So basically, I need to like space it. I gotta space it. So hold on. Yeah, let me fix that. Zip payload dot. Okay, dot zip. Yep. Let me space this payload dot exe. Okay, there we go. So now that we have that, it says adding payload exe deflated at 40%. Um, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be really fun to see. So now that we have that, we should have this command set where this is going to zip the payload into a file located in the root directory of the Kali web server, performing the zip operation while being in the same directory as the payload exe file, ensuring that the zip file does not contain subdirectories. So now that we're done with that, we're going to type in service space Apache 2, and then we have to start it. Yep, Apache. APACHE2 space start. Okay, so now that we start this command will start the pre-installed Apache web server on Kali Linux. So this is going to be very interesting to see. So now that we have that, we have to score it. Um, This is basically going to send data within the Kali Linux server. So therefore, once the attack starts, you already have everything set with your configurations. So this is going to be very fun to see. Um, Basically, it says even right here that it is theoretically possible to send an attachment as a part of the set email attack. However, that feature is not functional in the lab environment. So you are substituting a download link for an attachment. Okay, so that's really what hackers usually do, as far as as far as you know, doing these like website well, basically like web email like attacks, you know, i.e. phishing email like attacks. So I mean that's like one of like a billion type of like attacks that so many hackers create certain tricks for, but it's quite interesting to see. Oh, nice. um okay, so now that we're done with that, uh we just have to type in set toolkit once again. Now that we're here, click on 1 for social engineering attacks. So just type in 1, press enter. And then once we're done with that, you press number 5 to do mass mailer attacks. And then once we're here at the yes or no prompt, you just type in Y for yes, or just type in yes. My apologies. So we're going to enter in yes to start the send mail, and we should be good to go. So now that we have that, we are now at this stage of the next phase of the attack. We have to press 1, or we have to enter 1 to start the email attack yeah, email attack single email address. So we do that, press just type 1, and our target email will be Jamie, so JAIME at, hold on, let me move that cursor. It's called structurality.com. structurality.com. So that's our email. Gonna press enter, and then we're gonna type in 2 to select your own server, or yeah, to select own server or open relay. So we have 2, and now that we have that, we're gonna type in this. We're gonna use like another email like address. Um, this is like a spoof email per se. So this is going to be support at structure. Yep, structure reality. Oh, actually, no. This is. Oh, okay. I get it now. I get it now. So this is going to be our fake email because you see that the typing is a lot different. So we're now going to be creating a fake email or like a fake address where we're going to trick our user to come from a different address. So this is basically going to be a whole different attack. Oh, hold on. Uh, Hold on. I think I I think I messed up. No. Wait, hold on. Let me try to see if I can do that. All right. Um hmm. Let's see if I can try to hold on. I think I messed up, but give me 1 second. I was supposed to have it set for what I was supposed to send, but I'm gonna finish it up and then we're gonna see what happens. So it's gonna be from the support department. Basically, what we're doing here is that we're creating like a phishing email like attack in order to trick the person to see this email, and therefore once the person sees this email, we're able to utilize our attack to trick the individual or the victim into thinking that we're actually like a support team from the company, but we're actually not. We're actually really trying to hunt their information down to use social engineering in order to fake them out. So that's literally the whole point of this. It's actually really cool because this is actually what a lot of like cyber like attackers do on a daily basis, and it's quite fun to see this. So this is going to be called important account. Yep, account update. So once we do that, you press enter, and then we just type in H. That's going to be HTML format. So there we go. This is what we have to do. So now, in the first line of text of the email, we just have to put this in here. I'm going to see if I could try to copy this. Probably not. I'm probably not going to be able to. I'm going to try to control V it. I'm probably not going to be able to. So, okay, so sadly, guys, like I said, this isn't like the Google cybersecurity, professional certificate program where you're able to just copy and paste things to make your life easier. And sadly, Linux does not give you the ability to do that unless I don't know what I'm seeing. So this is going to be interesting. So we have to type all this in. Please download, extract, comma, and run the update file from this link space left lesson symbol a. Yeah, this is gonna be a little bit annoying. Ref. Yeah, this is not gonna be fun, guys. HTTP colon forward slash 10.1.16.66 forward slash account. Yeah, this is the account update. Account update dot zip. and then you do greater than symbol, update less than, yep, less than / a greater than. Yeah, this is, I don't like these type of things. You gotta be a little bit careful. You gotta be a little bit careful. All right, so once we do that, you press enter. Next line of the body is going to be saying, oh, yep. Next line of the body, we're gonna be saying otherwise, comma, your certs will automatically expire. So now that we're here, yep, there we go. We have this set. Nice. Nice. So now that we have that, oh, nice. Okay, so I think what we see here is actually what we need to see. Nice. Now that we have that, good. So we press enter, and then we put in the other part of the body, sincerely, comma, left less than symbol, BR, finish that out, space, support, department, comma. Oh, okay, yeah, I think that's what I was supposed to do that. Wow. Okay. Yeah, but I don't think that's gonna matter. So then once we do end in all caps, okay. Alright, end. Okay, and then just press enter. Alright, check email format. Okay. This is kind of like just giving us information out of like, well, I'm basically looking at what I was supposed to write. Yeah, it's a little bit janky, but I think I should be good to go. So, yeah. Yeah, let's see. Hopefully I got this correctly. I should get it correctly. No. Okay. Hold on, give me 1 second. I have to retype this, so give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, basically what you have to do right here, just carefully type everything in correctly. So I'm just gonna highlight everything and just show you what exactly that I did. So once you get through all the prompts to like set up like your phishing attack email, make sure all of this is properly typed in. But if that does not work, if you're not able to see that, I can also share this particular window right here, which I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to switch this window out, and I'm going to show you this image here. This is like a better type version of like what you could see right here. So I'm going to maximize it so you guys can take a look at this. Be sure to like zoom right into it to like pause up the video to take a look at this, or you could just take like a screenshot and try to make it bigger. So I wanted to like show you guys that for better reference for you guys to like type it in correctly. So once you do that, that'll kind of like make everything uh, properly properly like adjusted for what you have to do for the lab. So I'm gonna switch right back to this. Give me 1 second. We are going back to the lab. So now that we're here, we're pretty much all set to go with what we need to have done. So we need to minimize the terminal window, and we need to return to the original terminal window containing the the MSF6 prop. Okay, so now that we're here, we're having to go to the next phase. Yeah, so we're basically good to go with this because we already got everything done. So once we have this, yeah, this is basically all set to go. I already scored this, so I don't need to do much of anything. But just check this off. This is basically almost done here. So now we have to go to the MS10 VM, and we need to log in as Jamie, where what we are going to do in this particular scenario, we're going to do Cert Alt Delete. Uh, Basically, for anybody that wants to make like a little personal home lab out of this to like use as like a project, like you could just make like you can make up like your own type of like account to kind of like make it into like a little fake setup. So I mean, if you actually even want to use like an actual email like address, you could also do it like that too. But for this particular scenario, this is very effective in terms of like what you want to do as far as like setting this up. So now that we're here, you just go to Jamie's profile. But you can like autofill it by pressing password, or just make sure that you type it in correctly, where it's capital P, lowercase a, two $ symbols, and then lowercase w, the letter 0, and then RD lowercase. We do that, and then we log right in. And now we're logged into Jamie's profile as Jamie. So once now that we're in Jamie's like account, we have to go into Thunderbird, which this is going to be our like email type of like software that we use. So this is going to like give us information of like what we need to see. So now that we are going to be doing that, that is going to be giving us our information for what we need to see for the phishing email. So I am loading up Thunderbird as we speak, and now that Thunderbird has loaded up, we now have the email that we need to see. So you want to know where our email is right now? This is where the emails were when we sent everything. So now we have to select inbox where we are at uh, on the left navigation pane. And once we do that, we basically have to go right here and we have to um, hold on. I think there's like a note that says there's a bug in the set that causes the phishing email to be sent twice. Okay, yeah, yeah, that makes perfect sense. So, let's see. Let's see if we can go to get messages. So once we do the get messages from the hold on, yeah, get messages from the Thunderbird toolbar. Um, it shows right here. Notice that Jamie has received a important account update message. So what we do right here is that we are going to hold on. We're going to select this email right here, and let's open it. So it's saying that we need to please download, extract, and run the update file from this link. And then it says otherwise your certs will automatically expire. So let's just go back and let's go back to the inbox. But we're basically almost right there. And then once we get to this point, we should see our link that we see right here. Uh, I'm not too sure if I'm able to click on it. It says select the update link in the message body. Uh, yeah, I think I should be able to see it, but I don't think I'm able to see my particular message. Okay, all right, yep, here it is, right here. So sometimes it's like a little bit janky, so you have to like look at the proper email that was sent. But you could actually just go to like the most updated one, in which I'm sorry, I actually looked at like the wrong non like I looked at like the wrong time that wasn't properly updated. So I should have looked at 5 p.m. instead of 4:38 p.m. So yeah, sorry about that. I got a little bit mixed up with like my time. Yeah, with like my time structure. So now that we're here, click on that blue little hyperlink called update, and then once that's set, that's going to download the file, and then Microsoft Edge browser is going to open. So now that we have this file, we're going to double click on account update, open this up, and then here's our malware that we technically have with this payload application. So this is where everything begins, where we start the hacking process. So here we go. We're going to double click this. We got the payload. So let's see. It's going to open, and let me try to. I don't think I need to do it again, but all right. Let's just click on run. Now that we're going to run the software, this is going to give us the virus on our computer, and now we're going to have some active malware. So here we go. We have it ran. So basically, what we did from here, from Jamie's perspective, we thought that we needed to download a update file for our security purposes, and we needed to update something to keep our account secure. But this is where the whole process begins, where the victim has now been compromised, and therefore the victim has nothing to worry about, to think that everything is fine after they downloaded the payload exe file. Because what we did from Linux is that we created the code in order to send the phishing, let the phishing malware, yeah, the phishing email attack, to tell the person or tell the victim, like, hey, we are from the support team of structurereality.com, but we actually just wrote it improperly, in which I could show you guys that right now. Hold on, if I can go to it. So, like you see right here, that's not the right word, because now that kind of makes Jamie think like, oh, okay, this came from like my company, but no, this isn't actually coming from the company. This is coming from a fake criminal user that's trying to get your information. So, what made Jamie come out of the notion to do this is simply because it was coming from the support department from her company. So she didn't look at the actual email, account, like, like address line code of like what was being written, and therefore she fell right into that trap. So now that we're in this particular trap, now we are pretty much under the exposure of the hackers' control to go right into the computer, and they can now put their code right into the system in order to plan their next stages to attack their target victim. So now that we're here, we're going to score it, and we should be good to go. This should be quite interesting. So yeah, the handler is now active, and we are good to go. So now we have to leave all the windows open on MS10, and we have everything confirmed. So now we got to go back to Kali, and we have to, confirm everything to make sure that we see what we need to see. So we see that the terminal window is where the MSFS6, so that's at the Metasploit prompt, is basically open. So we should see messages saying, "Yep, it's it like basically." You need to see this code that says right here, um, sending stage, all these little bytes that you see to 10.1.16.2, and then uh, the meterpreter or the meterpreter session one open at 10.1.66 port 443 going to 10.1.16.2 port 55419 at. Okay, so we see it right here. Yep, sending stage of all these little bytes. Meterpreter session open at 10.1.66 at port 443 to 10.1.16.2 1722 at 205. Yep. Yeah, so basically this shows us all the information that we need to see. So now that we're done with that, we need to type in a little bit more information to see what we need to see. We need to enter sessions to view a list of current sessions. So we're going to type in that, and here we go. Um, we basically have our information for Jamie's computer. So now we have the session that we've now exploited into her system. And now once we do that, we have to type in sessions dash I and 1. This is going to give us information to, well, this is going to connect to the established session. So once we start the interaction, we should be connected to her computer. And now we have everything that we need to see. So once we do that, we should type in this next command called system info. So SYS info, and then type in enter. And here we go. So now that we're here, the question is shown right in front of you. What is the computer name displayed by this meterpreter command in the box below? The computer name has to be MS10. I should be right, hopefully. Yes, we are correct. Let's go. Alright, so now that we're done with that, we have to type in this next command called get UID. This is going to view the account which was compromised by the social engineering exploit, leading to a reverse shell. This user account establishes the user privilege context by which meterpreter is restricted. So we're going to do that. We're going to basically get the username out of the server, which is structure reality /Jamie. Now that we're done with that, we have to type in help And once we do that, this is going to give us more information out of what we need to do, where we could do certain commands to get more data. And this is going to view a list of other commands that could be used through Meterpreter against the victim system. Once we've basically done this, uh, well, after doing what we had to do, basically that the lab had already told us that at this point you have successfully tricked the victim into running malicious code that directly led to an attacker having remote control access to the victim system. So now that we're done with that, we're basically all set to go. So now let's get these questions done, and I want to get you guys out of here. And thank you guys. This is quite a ride. So yeah, let's get these questions done, and let's see what we need to do. What is the primary defense against the attack that you just performed in this lab? So the primary defense that we could very well do to prevent this is do not execute files from email. I'm gonna try that. There we go. That's basic and simple. It's just common sense. If you see something, don't do it. If it's suspicious, don't put yourself in the trap. Also, very well make sure like any security functions that are not updated within your computer, make sure that you update your computer, whether your computer is vulnerable to any softwares that could be outdated, because sometimes even if you're not connected to the internet, your computer could just very well capture like some old, you know, some old like vulnerable deprecated software that's going to put itself in a position to get attacked. So even if it's not connected to the internet, and let's just say like one day out of the blue, if like a hacker just sees that your computer is to be vulnerable, there could be something where they're like, oh, okay, you know what, if I want to hack into this person's account and get their banking information about their company, and I see that, hey, they're leaving their computer wide open, but their computer's like mad weak and it's not even powerful with its security. They could just inject something into the computer, or they could probably put some sort of beacon tracker on your computer if it's, well, like if the quote unquote spy is able to do that. I mean, there's always many different ways of how hackers or any cyber threat criminals come about come about like come about hunting people's information down. So it's always important to like keep updating your information to put yourself in a better position to not be vulnerable. So yeah, let's get these other questions done and then let's get out of here. All right. So which security framework does set use to set up listeners? Yeah, we already did this. This is the answer to this is called Metasploit. Metasploit is a security framework that set or the social engineering toolkit is set up to set up the listeners within your Kali Linux, so therefore you're able to utilize the software at a much more anonymous framework. So you're not putting yourself in a in a harder position to be exposed. Number three, the most commonly used features of SET are spear phishing, website spoofing, payload delivery, mass mailer attacks. Is this true or false? This is true. All right. Yep, we're good to go. I am on a roll. Let's go. What is the primary limitation or restriction in compromising a victim through a set crafted email and related exploit script payload? Yeah, I would say, hmm, I would say possibly firewall blocking. Okay, no, that's not correct. Let's try client side security blocking. Yep, I was right. So, reason why this is to be the case is probably because the client side security blocking execution is not available through set, and you're not really able to utilize it as much as you want to. Because if you had more control to do that, you would be able to, you would be able to utilize more hacking protocols in order to capture more data out of like your victims. And once you're able to get that information to block certain security protocols that go against your hacking software, um, that would actually make it a lot better for the hacker to like win over the individuals that are trying to work from the cybersecurity side of things. Where if you have with the white hat hackers up against the black hat hackers, the white hats that are trying to use like defensive functions to fight against the malicious software that was being put into the security framework to attack security um, vulnerabilities within the network framework. They're being given a much greater opportunity to configure the software however they want, and now the defense, the defense hackers or the white hat hackers are not able to do what they're able to do to basically respond and to deter up against that particular threat. So yeah, that's going to be quite interesting. That's quite interesting to see, and this is definitely something to take a look at. I'm definitely interested in seeing how more of this plays into the future because now AI is actually getting a lot stronger, and it's gonna be interesting to see how Kali Linux can actually evolve over time because I think there's gonna be a lot more better innovations in the future that's going to give mankind a lot more opportunities to basically like look more into this deeper within the realm of cybersecurity and understanding computer coding protocols of understanding how to configure certain command line structures or at least command line interfaces. All right, so yeah, let's get right into it. Last question: which of the following are true in regard to using social engineering toolkit? So I'm gonna try to do this to the best of my ability. Social set demonstrates the power of combining technology with social engineering. Um, let's see. I'm gonna try to do this by myself. I'm gonna see if I can get this completed. Let's see. All right, yeah, there we go. I was correct. So the reason why these were the right answers is because they are all true in regards to using social engineering toolkit. The very first answer makes perfect sense. Set demonstrates the power of combining technology with social engineering. That is very true because you have to understand that when you're using the social engineering toolkit, you have to utilize the technology with social engineering to properly adjudicate the resources in order to trick the user. And once the user falls for it, then that's the power of set to give you many different opportunities on how to set up your attacks to be more stealthier and more, I would say, more cunning in your attacks. So that does make a lot of sense. The second answer, set can send attachments or hyperlinks to malicious scripts or payloads. Yes, that is very true, as what we did in the previous example. Well, in the particular example that we had completed, in creating the test dummy target, that being Jamie as structure reality, we were able to utilize that to our advantage. So therefore, Jamie can be more vulnerable to the social engineering um, attack that led her into thinking that she needed to download the file, but those attachments that were sent within the hyperlink gave out the malicious scripts for Jamie to I'm sorry, it sent out the malicious software for Jamie to think that that software was needed to be downloaded, but those scripts were designed in a manner where it was set in a particular motion where it was hidden for Jamie to not understand what the software was going to do. So therefore, she got caught into that trap, and therefore the attacker was able to successfully fool the victim into downloading the software. Next point is set emails can be spoofed. Yeah, set emails can use spoof source addresses. That is true. As what we did in the email, we basically created a fake email address in order to trick our target user into thinking that we needed to use some sort of tricking scheme for them to download something, and therefore they fell for it. That's why when you see like fake addresses that are being sent to you, whether it's coming from Microsoft or any other company, a lot of these like fake phishing scam hackers per se like to use fake email addresses, and but they always send them like every single day. They're like you get like at least like hundreds if not thousands of them being sent to you. But that's very common, like in the realm of just going online through the internet and being exposed to that. All right, so the final one is set can send messages to a single address or a large group of addresses. Yes, that is very true. Set can send messages to a single address or a large group of addresses. That makes perfect sense in how you set that up with the social engineering toolkit, and then once you utilize that to your advantages, you're able to use that a lot more effectively to be more versatile in what you need to do. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed that. This is a pretty fun lab that I enjoyed. I had a lot of fun doing this, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this and had fun watching this particular episode. And yeah, we should be good to go. We're pretty much all done with all the grades, and yeah, we're basically completed with this. So, yeah, thank you guys very much. I'm probably gonna do more videos very soon. I'm just doing it little by little because my content is very long form. Because if I were to like try to rush this out for you guys, I don't want to like be that type of person to just try to be super fast with it. But I will try to do my best to keep it as short as possible. And if you guys need to like take a look at more information, uh, you could always like pause the video and take a look at it. Or if you guys want to DM me on Discord, hit me up at KROT7435, and I think my digits are 4319. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much. And this is the Cyber Sector Initiative Zone signing out. And yeah, uh, be sure to stay safe and be protected and be free. All right, I'll see you guys. I got more content coming out. Thank you very much. I will see you guys later. Have a good night. Bye.